Hi, back again, round two. Yes, we've still got lots of paint everywhere and we're still getting messy, but we're having fun, right? So this is what they call a chameleon cell pour. So this is using paint that is already pre-mixed with pouring medium that we sell, which is fabulous, and they're in bigger bottles, which I love. And then you go in with the silicone oil and that's what creates the cells. So I thought we'd just have a play and see what we can come up with, which is super exciting. So these are the bigger bottles. So this is the professional acrylic pour paint ready to use. So this already has the pouring medium inside it. And I've just chosen a few colours that I quite liked. Some I haven't got much left of, some I've got quite a bit left of. So we're just gonna have a play. And these are my favourite colours. This is the colour that you would find in my craft room. And I love it, so let's just go for it. Right, the purple I'm going to put in first. Now, when you take the lid off to remove the little paper, like cardboard seal that's underneath, just make sure that there's no, like, what's the word I'm looking for? No bits of dried paint left behind. Okay, you want to make sure that there's no, like, little bits like this here or this in here. You don't want that to get into your paint pouring because that's not good. Remember that whatever colour you put in first is going to be the one that's going to come out on top, because we're going to flip this as well. And then I'm going to go in with this lovely teal. A little bit lumpy there, but we'll see how we get on. And I know why, because I didn't put the lid down properly, so it's my fault, it's not the paint. Right, let's go in with some green. Done the same with this as well, Melanie. That's me rushing to pack up yesterday. Pistachio, this one, lovely, lovely green. So we're going to put this in, and you can see I'm just drizzling it down the side. Now you could, if you're going to do a bloom pour, which we'll try and do once our lovely Andrew's back off his holiday, you're going to want to add more pouring medium to this, but for this, it's perfect. So I'm going to break it up now with a little bit of white. You can also, I'll tell you what's really good in this, if you add some metallic. So mix some of your metallic paint with your pouring medium. You'll have to mix it yourself. Can you see how I've got a little bit of thick paint there? I need to get that out because that will stop. Look, like a little worm going on. That's because I just said it's like a little bit of hair in the bath, and you're like, oh, yeah, I get that. I get that. Then we've got, put some pink in. And these can be whatever colours you like, you know. I'm just a bit random with my colours because I like colour. I just like any colour. It just makes me smile. And this is just getting a little bit thick. So I'm going to just get a cocktail stick and just clean out that nozzle there because it's got a little bit of dried paint in it, I think. So top tip from Mel, lesson learnt, Mrs. Heaton. You need to clean your paints before you put them away. And that is common sense. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, when you're still pouring paint, you kind of forget that bit, which is what I was doing. I was obsessed, and I kept going back to keep looking at it and looking at it and looking at it. I've got a proper little blob in there. That's not good, is it? Let's pour it straight from the bottle. That'll be better. There we go. Look at that fluid. Lovely, 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 lovely. Right, so we've got a bit of pink in there. Sorry, I'm forgetting that I'm actually doing this as a video and I'm just having a really lovely time, can you tell? Then I've got purple. This is like the real, this is what you see is what you get, Mel, this. It's lovely, 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 lovely. Andrew said he's going to have it as his text message. That's hilarious. Oh, thinks he's funny. That's the funniest part about him. Right, oh, here we go again. This is me, not right. I must learn, Melanie, to clean your paint. Look, perfect. Absolutely, we make the mistake so you don't have to. Yeah. Right, I'm going to pop all those out of the way and we're going to flip this cup. Now, there won't be any cells appear in this, because there's no silicone oil in it at this moment in time. It's just paint with pouring medium. Okay, so cup on there. Nearly got it the wrong way around. Canvas on top of the cup. Hold it like that. I would happily go for it, but not in somebody else's room. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it outside on the drive where it can be power washed off. Right, we're going to let that sink for a little while. And while that's sinking, what I'm going to talk to you about is the silicone oil. So Cadence do one. And there's lots of different thoughts on this. You can use a silicone hair oil, you can use different stuff. But when you're beginning, when you're starting out, I think, this is just my personal opinion, so you can argue with me if you like, I don't mind. But what I find is if you use the proper products, you get a good result. It's like when my granddaughter comes around to craft, I'll use all my grown-up stuff because she gets a really good result and that boosts her confidence and she enjoys it more. So I would rather you use the proper stuff, even if it's just at the beginning until you find out whether you like it or not. Because if you use something that doesn't quite work right, you're not going to get the result and then you're going to think it's you. And it's not you, it's the product that you're using. So I'm going to use the silicone oil from Cadence just because I want to make sure that it's right. So I'm going to pop that to one side and I'm going to lift this cup now. So I'm just going to slide it and then lift. Look at this. Ooh, magic. And then all these bits you can put in the middle if you want like this and just let it drop and just let it move out. And then I'm going to start to move this paint. So like we did last time, I've got a piece of cardboard, which is going to act as my corner protector. I'm not worrying about bubbles at all at this moment in time. I'm just going to move this paint first of all. So I'm going to lift it off the turntable and just start to move it. And like I said, this isn't going to be like the other one. There's no silicone oil in this at all. So this is just your paint with your pouring medium in. And I quite like having the options. You know, I like the all-in-one because as a beginner, you get there and you've got, you know, enough paint to do a couple of pours, see if you like it. You're not investing a massive amount of money. You don't have to have it on a turntable. You could work on, I don't know, a pile of books, old books or something like that if you didn't want to spin it. But just to get you started, the all-in-one set is really good, which we did the video of, the different video. But this one is really exciting, I think, because I love the fact that you can then add these fabulous cells into it. The other thing I like my turntable for is then it's easier for me to move my canvas around. But that's just me. This is a cake turntable. If you're going to use it for cake, please don't use it for acrylic paint afterwards, because that's not a good combination. So right tools for the right job. And all this paint that you're seeing on the Mylar underneath, the reason that I put it on Mylar is because I'm going to try and either cookie cut it, that's not easy to say, to get some shapes out, or I might try it on my scan and cut, but I'm not sure whether it will affect the blade. Obviously I'm not going to put the paint directly onto the mat once I've peeled it off. I'm going to leave it on the thin Mylar, but I'm not sure that it will work like that. It might be better with a cookie cutter. And I definitely wouldn't try it with a die, I don't think, until I've tried it and wrecked one of mine potentially, because I do think that the acrylic will stick to the die, even though it's got a release on it. I do think, yeah, I'm not sure that I would risk that. It's a bit of it's not an unstable product. That's the wrong thing to, that's the wrong word, but it's not dense enough, I don't think. And you need to leave it for, I would say, at least 72 hours before you try moving it or cutting it. You can obviously move the plastic, but don't try peeling it off because you've got a lot of paint in here and the layers will just crumble. And I know because I tried it. So there you go, top tip. Right, we're getting even more colours around here. This is going to look lovely. I hope I'm going to think of something to do with it because I cannot throw that away. It's too nice. Right, kitchen roll. This is where, if you're sensible, you'll wear gloves. I actually quite like it. Right, so let me just get rid of these bubbles first of all. And then Andrew is asking me a question. So this is now not creating cells. What this is now doing is popping bubbles. So there we go. Ready? and it's just popping all those bubbles that are formed in that paint, okay? So we're not creating any cells at all because there's no silicone oil in here. So if you see colour coming through, it's just where the bubbles popped. And I would absolutely recommend a blowtorch over a heat gun. Unless you've got like a proper, really big industrial heat gun, I would recommend a blowtorch because it just pops. I find personally it pops the bubbles better. Right, now then, we want to add some silicone oil into this. This is where, I mean, that's just beautiful by itself. But we want to add some cells into this. So I'm going to take just a few drops in a cup of silicone oil, okay? Very little. You don't need much of this at all. And then you're going to take a cocktail stick and you're going to dip it into your silicone oil. And this takes a little bit of getting used to. And you're just going to start, and we're just going to put cells in this area around here. So I'm just going to start in the middle and nothing will happen immediately. And I'll leave in quite a decent gap in between each one. And you have to be patient with this because it doesn't instantly start to work. You have to just wait a little bit. And this is kind of a bit of trial and error. So you might want to just get some inexpensive canvases, you know, the really cheap, inexpensive ones, and just have a little play around with silicone oil because it's an interesting medium. Sometimes I got arnica. No, it wasn't arnica oil. What's the other one that you use in your hair? Oh, it's going to annoy me now what that's called. It'll come back to me when I stop thinking about it. And I tried that and it didn't work very well. So then I got a proper pouring medium silicone oil and that worked better. And then Diane decided to tell me that we actually sell it, which is even better. So that's great because this will be the one that they use at Cadence. And if we're using their paint, we might as well use their silicone oil and get the best results we can. It's going to annoy me now what it's called. It's not arnica. So I'm literally just literally adding a little bit of oil where I want the cells to start to form. Like this. And just adding a little, and it's the tiniest amount, okay? It's literally on the tip of this cocktail stick and I'm just literally dotting it here and there. And it is just fabulous. It really is. Look how these cells are starting to appear now. Can you see them in the middle? And these will continue to develop for quite a while, which is super exciting, which is why I kept going and sitting down, having a cup of tea with Mick and then go. And then he's like, where are you going now? You've been sat down for like half an hour and now you're up again. Where are you going? I'm just going to check on my cells. It's like, what are you talking about? It's a whole different language, isn't it, when you start doing stuff like this? But it's great fun, I have to say. It really is great fun. So I'm just now dotting some of this oil here and there. You can see I've used very little. I'm just going to add a little bit more into here. And always have a piece of tissue at the side of you, not your apron, because it is hybrid acrylic and it won't come off. So a little bit more, far too much oil in there now, but we'll keep going. Get some more cells out of this. And then I'm just going to follow this around. And there's loads more different things that I want to try with this. But I think at the beginning I just stuck to simple ones and thought, right, you know what, let's just have a go. It's all right sitting and watching all these videos, but unless you have a go with it, you don't know whether you're going to like it or not, do you? Right, let's put a few more in here. These are the colours of my craft room. This is why I love this paint, because it's all the colours of my craft room, so I'm going to have them all over the wall. So I'm going to put some of this here, a bit more here. You don't want too much and you don't want too little. It's finding that nice balance. And it also, I think I found, it depends on which oil you use as well. Because this is better than the one that I used before. And I'm not just saying that because it's Cadence, because if there's a, if there's an alternative, I will tell you. But I just think when you, like I said before, when you're starting out, you need to give yourself the best chance of getting a good result. It's been interesting when I brought these into work today. Even one of the lads in the graphics team upstairs, John, who doesn't really have much to say about what we do, the creative side of it. He designs the dies and what have you. But he came in, he was like, oh, I could do a class with that. I was like, really? He said, yeah, I love it. It's great. So, yeah, interesting, isn't it? How different people like different things and enjoy it. So don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and then you'll get to be informed when we post anything new, which will be good. So it's super cool. And I have to say, the Aquastone varnish from Cadence on the top of this looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm tempted to pour on some tiles and have them just odd tiles in my kitchen. Right, I'm going to leave it there with the cells because this is still developing round here. And I've used the oil that I've got out. So I'm going to leave that to keep developing. Oh, actually, oh no, I've got oil there, so I'm all right. Right, let's spin it, see if it moves it slightly. So, doesn't really matter which way you go. They remind me, I know what they remind me of now. Do you remember those gobstoppers when you were a kid? And they used to have all the layers going through them. That's what it reminds me of. And then I wanted to go to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory because he had everlasting gobstoppers. And I thought that was just amazing. Didn't care that it was just a story. It was just an everlasting gobstopper. Right, so I'm just going to spin this a couple more times, making sure that all the sides are covered, which they are, which is good. And then, once I come back into work in the morning and we see what this is like, I'll get a really nice close-up shot. But you can see all these different cells starting to appear, and these will keep growing for a couple of hours, which I think is really exciting because that silicone oil will continue to react. And then if you just want to go in with one last blast of your blowtorch, just pop any bubbles before you set it to one side, because there's nothing worse than doing it and then finding you've got a big bubble in the middle of it. That's really annoying. And I can see there's quite a few little ones. And as they pop, the colour will come through from underneath. So it's definitely worth having a blowtorch. I found this much better than a heat gun. Much better. I got such a different result. So try it. Try both. See what you find. But then all this paint that's round here, I'm going to buy some bezels and I'm going to put them in jewellery because I think that would look spectacular in jewellery. Right, I'm going to get my gloves on now. Now I've made all the mess. I'm going to put my gloves on now so I can move it off the table and onto the trolley. So I've got a trolley at the side of me. You don't need a trolley. You just need somewhere to leave it to dry. If I was doing this at home now, it would just stay on my desk. Or half my desk, because the other half of the desk. So I have 2 tables back to back. But, you know, you do you, wherever you feel that it doesn't need to be a particularly warm room. Just leave it for a good 2 to 3 days to really dry, because trust me, it's really frustrating when you've done one and you love it and then you go in the day after and you stick finger in it to see if it's dry and it's not. It's proper frustrating. What do we say in craft? Stick a butterfly on it. I think that's what will be happening to that. Right, so I'm going to lift this now and put it on my trolley. And then I'm going to tidy up and I'm going to go and have some dinner. And then once these have dried, I will take some photographs and put them on our social pages for you. So let's lift this. This is where I put the gloves on because I'm going to lift it from underneath. And then I'm just going to move this over. I need one of these trolleys at home. That's what I need. That'll be a Christmas present coming my way, won't it? And then I put cling film on my turntable just because it's easy to clean up. So that'll go straight into the bin. Even the inside of that cup, look at that. Isn't that fab? Let's have a look. Look, all that colour in the bottom of there. If you've got some little canvases, you could probably use that on a smaller canvas. You know, the little teeny tiny ones that you can get that are sometimes on like little easels. And then this, we're going to move over here. So now this looks epic, doesn't it? I mean, I would have that on a canvas, just on a canvas like that. So I'm going to leave this to dry completely. Andrew and I are going to try and move this in the morning, which will be hilarious. It will be proper funny, trying to move all this. But then once it's dry, because acrylic will never go like enamel where it goes really hard. I think cookie cutters would look really cool. So you could get like a heart-shaped cookie cutter, cut part of this out and lay it over your pour. So you're building up like a collage with it. But this is going to take at least 48 hours to dry. I would say 72 to be properly sure that, because that's quite thick paint. You can get a piece of card and pick it off if you want, but you're going to muddy your colours. And I quite like the idea of just, you know, like a little oval bezel, just cutting an oval out of that and then putting it inside the jewellery, filling it with resin. I think that would look absolutely spectacular. So although it looks like there's a lot of waste, you're not wasting it, because we're going to do something with it, and once I work out what I'm going to do with it, I'll take you on that journey as well. But these little circle bits here will make fabulous earrings. And these little bits here, just little, you know, instead of gemstones or cabochons on your cards, these will make something completely amazing. Right, I'm going to shut up now, go and get some dinner. I hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget, you can get your products. There'll be a link in the description below that links to our website. And don't forget that September 2023 is our Cadence month, and there's 20% off most Cadence products, including your pouring medium. And if it's not September, check the website out anyway, because we usually do good deals. And you can join our club and collect points as you go, which is super exciting. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. Take care. See you soon. Bye. If you want to see more from Highlight Crafts, make sure you click the like button. Subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below, and click the bell icon to receive notifications of all our future content. You can also click here to see our latest video, or click here to see more videos like this one.